Welcome back, I'm Penny. We're going to be continuing on with Khazan. So we're going to come back up here and we're going to activate the secondary mission before we carry on, our bonus mission, before we carry on with the main. So, final conquest. So you can see there's 2 soul stones that we're going to get. At the end of this episode, we're going to be using those soul stones, hopefully, to do a tiny bit more leveling up. And I did level up once more, guys. So quickly going on to stats, I've started to pump into endurance, just because we have switched over to be a little bit more health based with the ally, as opposed to stamina. So we're going to start pumping into endurance until that reaches 20, and then we're pumping to strength until that reaches 20 before we start looking at our stats again. Okay, so we're going to come over and get this nexus. I'm not really sure why they don't just spawn you in straight at the nexus, but I don't know.
Silence found the...
You finally found them.
Okay, so exhausted dialogue.
The evil giant rat there.
Okay. So, if you've got some... go ahead and just pop some of these enemies. You can see that there's an enemy just here. Just pop that one as well. You do want to be careful around this area, just because you can see that there's water. You will die if you go in that water. Just FYI. Okay. Let's get rid of that enemy. Go ahead and pick up this item. And then come down here and pick up this item. If you do want to get these, feel free. Completely up to you. I'm not going to be getting them, but that's mostly because I don't need them. I'm going to pop one of these. I'm going to try and attract these enemies. So you can kind of get this guy at a distance. It would just be safer. Otherwise, these are essentially like catwalks, and if you stay on them a little bit too long, they will start to sink. And you obviously have the risk of just falling off completely. So try not to. And then we've got this big boy. Hopefully you guys are a little bit better at reflecting than I am. Just adamant to not heal them. It's a little bit risky. Just check around just to see if there's any other enemies. But first you want to come down here. There are you. Okay, let's come out. That doesn't look very nice. Okay, so come back up here. If you haven't already, get rid of the big enemy. Pick up the memory. And then come into this room. This is booby traps. So as soon as you're able, dodge and then collect that Chaos Hidden Scroll. And then bounce through that a little bit. Oh my days. You asshole. Okay. So then you've got this enemy. Let's get that. Quickly come over here. There is one more enemy. You can see him just getting up and out. There we go. Let's get rid of the Talon. Come and grab your spirit orbs. And then come round here.
Something's not right here.
If you want, just go ahead and take this enemy out. It's not necessary, but just a little bit of extra XP before you press the bumper. Sorry, the the Nexus. I feel like if you've done enough Souls games, they're all bonfires. So you can see here, the alloy effect is at level 14. So there isn't really anything better at the minute. I mean, what does this one? Phantom Form Gauge. I mean, it's just not really worth it. You don't get the gold up enough, to be honest. So we collected everything on that one. We've got one more soulstone and one more jarling. You can see that we can increase a little bit, but we're gonna wait until the end of the episode, ideally before we go into NG Plus, because I'll personally be going into NG Plus. We want to get these up as much as possible. If you feel like you want to, you could pop a little bit into stamina, but for me, I'd rather focus on damage. So what we want to do now is, well, we can have a look at our stats for a start. So with the stats, you can see that mine are around about 230 for resistance. Well, they are 230 for resistance. So this essentially means that I have 23% negation from these kinds of attacks. So there's a 77% chance that they're going to hurt me, which is quite high. So what you can do is you can equip gear which will increase your defense. So I know that we've got a slightly higher Soul Eater Town somewhere. Where is it? Is that higher? Yeah, only marginally. It's really not a lot. If you can find full armor that gives you lightning resistance, go ahead and equip that. But you should have some rings or necklaces that do in fact give you some kind of resistance. So max health. That's poison resistance. That's sealed fire resistance. Okay, so I personally don't have anything like that. If you do, please equip it. And then, yeah, so you can see here the Ring of Sealed Lightning. That's going to give you a boost. So we'll go ahead and have a look. See what that's done for us. That's in a memento. And you will want to equip your lightning resistance elixir. This is going to be really beneficial. And you should also have your cleanse potion as well. This is just because there is going to be an enemy coming up that will fuck you over, essentially. Throws a lot of lightning, so lightning resistance has now gone up to essentially 38%, which is obviously a bit of a jump. It's just going to be really, really helpful. And to give you an idea, you know which phase of the last boss was part 1 for Viper, and the end of this mission is going to be Viper part 2, essentially. So you already know what we're going to be doing. And this is a pretty short area. So smack these. And that is the jarling for this area. And then go ahead and open this. It almost feels like you should be able to open that door. So just so we don't forget this, go ahead and get that memory. Now there is an elite enemy. Completely missed. That was kind of lucky there. You could see the electrocution was running up real quick, and that's not something that we want to be experiencing there. So you can see up here is the lasso point. Go ahead and pop that, and then you want to run down here.
So that's the General's Island spoke about.
Go ahead and open this chest. And then we're going to be getting ready for Viper part 2, essentially. So run back up here. And apologies there for my dog starting to kick off, just as I started that elite fighter. He absolutely hates anyone coming within a foot of the door. Right, so if you can, go ahead and level up. If you can't, don't worry about it. You can see that everything's been collected so far. If you want, and personally I am going to do this right now, is I'm going to pop the damage increase just so that there's a little bit more there. And because this is a dragonkin enemy, it's probably worthwhile you putting on the hunter set, as you actually get a 25% upgrade in your damage for any dragonkin enemies. That does seem a little bit better, if I'm honest. Yeah, we're going to equip that. Why not? Okay, so we want the hunter set. It's a little bit of a drop there. Just a little bit of a drop. If you've got the Soul Eater set and you would rather have that, you keep that on. It's completely up to you. I'm just swapping over just for a little bit of the extra dragonkin damage there. Feels like they've nerfed that, because that was 25. Okay, and ooh, yeah, we still don't have anything that's gonna, you know, negate any damage there. I am actually gonna, okay, I thought that was something else. That's fine. So for now you can see that lightning resistance is 380. We'll check that again in a moment, just before we go in. So make sure you're nicely rested. Go ahead and pop a couple of these. So just have a quick look at the stats. 680, so 68% resistance. So that's good immunity. It's good enough for me. So keep back a little bit. Not a great start. for a second there, I didn't know if I was going to make it. I mean, the damage was pretty much fucking negligible for that guy. I mean, you saw it, right? There was like pretty much just no damage being taken by that boss. And then all of a sudden he just got really exhausted, and staggered and just dropped a shitload of health, and then it just, yeah, that was a little bit intense. So nobody to speak to, just go back to the credits, and this should pop the achievement for that side quest. To do with silence. There you go. So as long as you've followed along, you should have the same amount of
We used to trade
achievements.
with El Rab.
So same as before.
Luca, if you need...
I had no idea. I'll look into...
Make sure you speak to everybody.
Oh, look at that.
Chaos.
And we're still not.
Chaos.
Still haven't got enough for a level. It's insane. So if you do have enough, you can go ahead and sell a couple of bits. Oh, not sell, but you know, extract lacrima from a few pieces. Okay, that was clearly enough. So that little bit of lightning negation really helped. I'm just gonna common up here. Speak to
You finally found a
the
lead.
Frona.
Follow. Now you are strong enough. Tell me, what do you desire to gain from the soul stones?
You could do health, but again, I'm gonna stick
You
to
require
lacrima.
more soul stones to unlock more effects.
You can change those up if you want to. It's completely up to you. And then we're just gonna level up, and this will conclude this episode. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and we shall see you next time.